do you do? What do you do for a living? What kind of computer stuff, or? I got you. What's the name of the credit union? Mountain? Makes sense, right? Yeah, it's weird. You'd think the credit unions would take over if people understood how they work versus banks, but it's the other way around. The banks keep getting more foothold. Chase just keeps gobbling everything up. So the reason why I brought up telomeres, it's like the end of the road. It's where the roadblock is of why things have to be the way they are, in my opinion. And nobody taught me this. I just kind of figured it out by feeling around in the dark. If you type in on your phone right now, Harvard mice younger as the 3 search words, you'll see where on several different occasions, Harvard has literally made mice younger. Like they were dying of old age and they're young again. And so I'm going to be a little bit of a smartass here for a second. We live on a planet where 9 billion people apparently have something more important to fucking think about in the day than to be like, okay, what? Let's help this guy. You know, whoever this scientist is, let's all drop what we're doing if we don't want our mom to die and we don't want our grandma to die. But instead, we're not on a planet with people that are that smart, unfortunately. So, you know, they read it, they're like, oh, cool, somebody's going to do it for me, and I'm just going to sit here on my ass and hopefully somebody figures it out. And then next thing you know, it doesn't come to fruition, so then everybody else says, oh, it's not possible. So it's really interesting, the mentality. It's like I see both sides of the coin. I see that there's people at the high levels who hate the masses for being so damn ignorant and lazy and just worthless on the big things. And I also see the masses saying, oh, these guys are evil, they're holding us back. And so it's like I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to be like a mediator, to be like, okay, but I've toiled with the idea for a long time, but I don't think that there is, and here's why. It actually goes back, I think that this understanding's existed for a very long time. Like, you know, dummies didn't build the pyramids, you know what I mean? Like, there's been intelligence in the Library of Alexandria, and the Vatican Church seized all that stuff, and then the Vatican Church did the Crusades, where they ran around and destroyed all kinds of libraries, and they're like, here's the secret to eternal life, it's in this book. And you don't need any physics equations, this is all the truth you need. Now, I'm not saying that they're wrong to do that, I'm just saying that's fact, that that's what they did. And once upon a time, before they did that, people had very great understanding of herbal and nutrition to heal yourself.
Yeah, so you can see that through like Native American traditions and history like that too.
Your immune system is unbelievable what your immune system can do. And even more so, a child's immune system, a young person's immune system, is far more capable than yours or mine, because we're a little bit older now. But it really all comes back down to telomeres. So there was a female scientist in the 70s who noticed that cells with long telomeres, which is just all it is, it used to be thought to be a meaningless repetitive code that meant nothing. It's like, you know, the same code over and over and over and over just at the end of your DNA, and they're like, oh, it means nothing. Well, then this female scientist realized the correlation that how eager a cell is to replicate itself. Like, let's say I were to cut your skin right now. You got 1,000 different cells, or however many it is alongside that cut. How eager those cells are to replicate to fix the cut is directly dependent on how long the telomeres are. Fact. Okay, that's like undisputed scientific fact.
Yeah.
So the longer the telomeres, the more eager the cells are to say, I'll do it. the shorter the telomeres, the more the cells say, you know what, I'm gonna stand back on this one. I'm gonna let you guys take care of it. A 90-year-old who walks in here, all their telomeres are short. An 8-year-old who walks in here, all their telomeres are long. Okay, that's what age is, and it's that fucking simple. And they don't want the masses to understand how simple this is, and it's pretty crazy how I just feel like I'm in a dream. I feel like I'm in a coma. I got in a really bad motorcycle wreck along the way, and I'm like, this has to be a fucking coma. There's no way I'm on a planet with people that are just fucking stupid. Like, it drives me fucking crazy. I'm being blunt, but the point is, there is a reason why it's this way, is because the people who start to figure out what I figure out, they cease to breathe oxygen. Okay, there's if you do some more homework about, it's a little bit harder to find now. They've covered it up a lot, but about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, there were a lot of different holistic doctors in the state of Florida and all across the country, but they were all like buddies, and they all communicated. They'd have these big conferences and everything, and they'd teach, people things. They all, yeah, and you're not being rude if you've got to run. They all start coincidentally dying for random suicides, all kinds of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And they had all figured out some pretty big stuff, in my opinion. But really what it comes down to is the reason why the masses are convinced that telomeres, and by the way, what telomerase is this Robin Hood gizmo that's inside your cells that's either on or off. And so when you're young, it's on. So most of your cells have telomerase turned on. So what telomerase is, it's like Robin Hood swims around inside your cell. It's a protein mechanism, and it comes up to all your different chromosomes, your DNA, double helix, and it says, oh, looks like you need some more telomere. And it just builds onto it like Legos, and it makes it longer. So it keeps you in the state of being able to replicate your cells very quickly.
Which just adds into the de-aging process, because your cells are replicating, you're having fewer refreshing cells, you're not having as many
hesitations.
Exactly.
Right. So once your telomere gets all the way down to where now it's to your regular DNA code, your cell will not replicate again. It flat out refuses to. So a 90-year-old, 4 out of 5 of their cells in their body's like, I'm out, I can't do it. And that's why it takes them so long to heal, is because only 1 out of 5 cells is even willing to do it. And it hesitates, because it's not just whether or not it does it, it's how eager it is to do it. How much time goes by before it says, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Okay? So that teaching, if they would teach everybody that from 3 years old, we would have immortals running around on this planet right now. And it's possible that we do, but they're just keeping themselves secret. I know it sounds batshit crazy, but I put a lot of thought into this, and I'm like, there's got to be somebody who's very, very, very intelligent, who's holding everybody down. And it's either a pact of a bunch of people who say, okay, we're all going to agree to age and we're all going to die on time. And we're going to make sure everybody else does too. Because the problem is, once you get into, let's say Elon Musk got younger. He did it, and boom, he's younger again. He's 20 years old. Everybody would say, oh, it's a new discovery, and blah, 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 blah. And who's the doctor who did it? And you'd have mafia, drug lords going and holding that doctor at gunpoint. You're going to fix me and my mom, and you'd have,
It's not just that, it's also your big business leaders that would come back in and be like, cool, so we're going to, here's $5 billion.
Right.
And you keep this to yourself and you only talk to us.
Right. Well, anybody who's super, super rich is going to want it for themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
They're just going to...
And who's to say it hasn't already happened?
Right, and it has, in my opinion, so many times. But the point is, there's got to be a task force that identifies who those people are, and either takes those people out or recruits them to be part of the task force too, and says, here's the problem. If all of a sudden society knows that you can live a lot longer, let's say you don't live forever. Let's just say you stay in the, let's say you stay in the 20-year-old state for an extra 100 years, okay? And you're 20 years old for 100 years, and then eventually something ends up going wrong. Everybody's gonna want that, and that becomes priority number one. Like, this conversation, if you knew that was real, you wouldn't even have time to talk to me if I wanted to talk about anything else. You'd be like, dude, I'm busy. I got shit to do tonight, you know? And everybody would just, they wouldn't even have any courtesy for each other anymore, and they'd all be focused on this then the next thing that happens is, let's say that even 0.0001% of the population has this. Those people's minds now are like 20-year-olds. They don't forget anything. They're endless sponges. They're going to figure out they're going to have time to figure out Einstein and Tesla and all this stuff now. So now the big bombs are back in the mix.
And also, you have to think about resource shortage. Let's say everybody does
Right.
extend their
Overpopulation.
life for years,
Bingo.
and
Right.
We're having all these kids, and these kids
Right.
are having kids, but they're still young, and so that also becomes an issue.
Right. So now you have immortals who understand nukes to the nth degree who want to fight.
Except, like, we don't have enough food to sustain
Right.
everybody. So
Right.
what do? We take out people
Right.
so that we can stay sustained.
Right.
And
And even if they build elevators full of food, the problem is it's just everybody gets too crammed, and then you get viruses. And that's the other thing. Once you get people messing with DNA, now they're all virus masters. Okay, so then you've got all these new kinds of weapons. So everything just goes off the rails real quick. So to keep the world in one piece, they have to draw the line somewhere, and they say, we know the world's going to be an 8 out of 10, because if we go to 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10, it only lasts for a brief moment before poof, it's gone.
yeah, it implodes on itself, and then it's like, okay, the cycle starts again.
Well, not even necessarily. When you start to really study nukes and hydrogen bombs, you start to realize, like, we have the ability to literally turn this planet into an asteroid belt.
Thank you for calling on Main Street Battery. This is Kate. What can I do for you today? Not at all, thank you. You're so welcome. See you soon.
So the ultimate medicine is just telomerase turned back on and a healthy immune system. The reason why you have to have a healthy immune system is because the way that they keep everybody away from telomerase turned back on and not wanting to go there is because they point out all deadly cancer is telomerase turned on. That's why the cancer is immortal. That's why it never stops replicating. Because a normal cell, if telomerase isn't turned on, a normal cell's telomere can only be about 52 repetitions long. So that means that cell and its offspring, its divisions, can only be replicated 52 times before they all say, I'm done. So if you have a freckle on your arm or whatever, it can only grow so big, and then it's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
So telomerase turned back on plus that freckle, that flawed DNA, equals deadly cancer. Okay. However, your body's killing cancer every second of every day. Okay. You have cancer right now. You always have cancer. You're killing it constantly. These damn 5G phones, they're microwaves. And they say, oh, no, the vast majority, this is another big magic trick. They say the vast majority of the radiation being emitted is not microwave radiation. Well, if this is the radiation that's not microwave and this is the radiation that is microwave, just because you convince me that there's more radiation that's not microwave doesn't mean that this isn't dangerous.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is I bought one of these microwave, I'll have to cut it short because I know you're going to get packed, but I'll see you again sometime. But the microwave, there's a microwave tester. It's like you can buy it off Amazon for $10 to test an actual microwave oven. And to see if they're like radiating too much microwave. When I'm uploading videos to YouTube, these phones set off the alarm on the microwave tester. So if you're holding this thing in your hand, you're holding something in your hand, the thing says your microwave oven in your house is unsafe and needs to be replaced. But there's more non-harmful radiation in this than there is harmful, and therefore it's okay. You see, it's all magic tricks.
It's the same thing with like certain food products where it's based on the parts per million.
Right.
Where it's like, oh yes, this amount in here is like it's a minimal trace level, so it's not going to harm you. But it's like,
Right.
no, it's still asbestos in there.
Right.
It's still something that's going to hurt
Right.
you.
If I took your healthy food and said, hey, I just want to add this little bit of poison to it, you'd fight me to the death. But the moment that you say it's already in there and it's fine, you're like, okay, great. Yeah, it's just a little bit of rat poison. I'm just going to put a little bit in there. You're going to be fine.
It's just trace amounts. It's okay.
Yeah, right.
You know, it's like hatcheries, like trout hatcheries. They'll throw.
Do you have your phone on you? I want to show you the C6 documentary so you can watch that because that's pretty cool. Just go to YouTube and all. It's the title of it's the company that this very top documentary. This
Yeah.
guy does good documentaries. It's like BE, so he's like a reputable guy. But he did this documentary, and it's the best one I've seen on the topic. But if I click it, then it'll be in your history.
And this guy can pull it up and look
Yeah,
at it.
but let me make sure it did it right. Yeah, that's it.
Then you're good.
Yeah, so watch that whole thing from start to finish when you have time and don't get interrupted because it's really potent. It's not like it's just an hour and a half of bullshit. It's like every little part's important. And you'll know more about it than anybody by the time you watch that. You're welcome.